Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King of Kings. Sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna, sing Hosanna to the King.
Beautiful. You may be seated. Well, I'm so glad you're here, and we are on a journey anew. We're going to be looking at the fruits of Spirit. Today's talk, fruits of Spirit, affection for others. Now, as you'll see in your bulletin, there is the full passage of Galatians 5:16 through 26. I'm not going to read this through the service, but each Sunday, for the next 9 Sundays, this will be in your bulletin, and please do look at it. It is a profound writing. It comes right out of the Eugene Peterson translation of the Bible called The Message. Now, this fabulous publication is the Bible in plain English, plain talk. Now, I wouldn't say it's very poetic. If you want poetry, read the King James Version, but then come to the Message version and see what it means. It's really quite beautiful. So, as we do this, we've got a cornucopia. And the cornucopia will be full by the time we end this series. Now, today is about love. And love is the kiwi. And that's what we're identifying as our fruit for today. And I love this picture. Someone cut into a kiwi and saw a heart right there in the center. It's reminding us that we have love with us all the time. Now, the love that we're talking about is divine, unconditional love. And so that affection for others is extending that divine love to others. So let's install this kiwi right into the cornucopia, and there it will reside as we continue. I love this quote by St. Basil. Now, St. Basil was a prolific author. He wrote in the 3rd century, and here he says, "A tree is known by its fruit, we by our deeds. A good deed is never lost. One who sows courtesy reaps friendship, and one who plants kindness gathers love." Now, we don't have to go far in nature to see how true this is. Because an orange tree produces oranges. An apple tree produces apples. Love begets love. Fear begets fear. And when we do our deed, when we have affection for others, when we're of service, it's never lost because energy is energy. And when we produce and bring forth the fruit of our affection for others, it extends out into the world. So if we ever feel like the world is a mess, or the world is not exactly how we want it to be, we can profoundly change the world by how we deliver that divine love and affection to our loved ones, to our neighbors, to people in HEB, to the tourists, to the people we see on television or read about. Love is what we're planting. And as we plant these seeds, it produces after its kind. Continuing in this exploration of this idea, I turn to the wisdom of Reverend Sue Sicking. She says, we cannot love God without loving each other. For humanity is of God, and God is in humanity. Now, from our personal self, it's hard to go about and love every single person we ever see. Yes? But it's possible to choose to love all. To open up that heart space, and then we see the divine in every person. This was the magnificent vision that Mother Teresa had. She just got the vision that everyone is Jesus. And our master teacher, Jesus, said, love God with all your heart and love your neighbor as yourself. It's an important mandate for us to extend that affection for others, to be of service, to love God. If we want to love God more, then we extend love to more and more people. And if we can turn on the light, the attitude, put on the glasses of everyone is a Christed, beautiful, anointed Spirit of God. And by addressing that godliness in them, we can only see it from the God in us. And this is where unity does identify that there is oneness. It's a high principle. But the footsteps we need to take are affection for others. Because we can certainly see out in the world where oneness isn't exactly the highest proof we see. Yes? If you turn on CNN, constantly in negative news, you will get a clear idea of where we're not the same. When in reality, we are part of the humanity, and we can love all of humanity in peace and harmony from that attitude. It's a choice. Turning to Eckhart Eastwarren, he wrote the book Passage Meditation. There is nothing love cannot face. There's no limit to its faith, its hope, its endurance. Love will never come to an end. That is a love worthy of us. That is a love powerful enough to dissolve our self-will. I am so glad for this kind of love. Because even this week, I can admit that I experienced that self-will run riot. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but I'm very human. And when I get into that place where I drop into, I'm just poor me, and I'm so sad, and I'm so disappointed, and I just slid down that little pity pot into not being willing to look up. And as long as I'm looking at me, myself, and I, and how bad I've got it, and boy, I can entertain myself for a long time with that one. It's a rerun. It's kind of like I Love Lucy all over again, but I still get the same enjoyment, or I wouldn't experience it. And yet, all I need to do is turn within and accept that there's a love within me that's more powerful than any self-will I can come up with. And the tide can turn. I shift and I step out of what was I doing in there? Self-pity doesn't get me anywhere except where it is. And self-pity is going to beget what? Self-pity. As soon as we choose love, then we can extend love. And it's from that extension of love we move out of that small self into our bigger self. We're human. We're having this intensely human experience. At the same time, we're having this awesome, amazing, bigger than anything we can imagine, spiritual experience. There's nothing small about us. And love is the answer. Some of us can actually identify that essence, that Christ consciousness, that God's presence is love. Shining love through the universe, making everything work. Turning back to Reverend Sue Sicking, she says, we can find any answer with love. Every day is full of loveliness, but we can only know it with love. We can find any answer in love, but at the same time, we can only see it if we are it. If we look at a puppy or a kitten, do you think there's ever a moment that puppy or kitten is not fully present with who and what it is? Why is it that we go through little moments where we forget who we are? We are love. And we have amazing gifts. We have innate ability. The things that we love or the things that we just do in the world that are ours to give to the world. And I can venture to bet that the stuff you find easiest to do, that you love to do, is part of your gift. Because other people don't find it as easy to do those things. You think Owen's back there having a hard time? No, he's in his joy with all that technology. He's in his stuff. It's what he's put here on the world to do. And so he does this in service every Sunday. Thank you, Owen. And that's what we're here to do. We're to bring forth into the world what gives us juice, what gives us a reason to get out of bed in the morning. And then we can follow the Gautama Buddha, who says, you yourself, as much as anyone in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Because we know if we don't have it, we can't see it. If we're not resonating with that love and affection for ourselves, take yourself out on a date. Give yourself what your soul yearns to do. To cuddle up and take a nap, or immerse yourself in a fabulous bath or a bubble bath. Whatever your thing is. It might be taking a walk. Celebrate and honor you. Because you are the light of the world. You are bringing forth a fruit, an essence of you that can only be expressed by you. And that's what we have to share. That's how we lift up the world. We are right now, right where we are, changing the world. Isn't that a good thing? The world needs what we have to give. And we don't have to go and change anything out there. If we change it right here, we change the world. And that's the power of love. Thank you.
Step out on the water, release your faith. Every step is stronger. Step out on the water.